Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
The time is now. The time is now. The time is now. I'm Trent, and this is Vision Preparedness. The time is now. The time is now. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Mayhemic Thursday. How is everybody doing today? Hope everybody had a great day today. And it's a little chilly, but it was warm today. Nice day. It's probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 degrees here in the great state of Ohio. I hope everyone is doing well tonight. We got a packed show tonight, which I'll get to, but first let's speak to a couple of people. Majik, good to see you. Wolfang, welcome in. Joel, my friend, hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Good to see you. The Virginia Bushcrafter, good to see you. Kenna John, welcome in, welcome in. CUCV Farmer, hope you had a great day today, my friend, and everything is going well to you. My man, Ghost Lincoln, one of my amazing moderators and one of Ohio Strong. Good to see you, my brother. Hope you had a great day today as well. Terry Johnson, welcome, 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 welcome in. Hope you had a great day today. That's right, Ghost, Mayhemic. It's all over the place. It's all abound. There she is. Homesteader Rachel, good to see you. Hope you had a great evening. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a great Thursday. F. Pier is in the building, so now we can start tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're doing well. F. Pier, good to see you. Hope you had a great day, and thank you for coming in this evening as well. Who else we got in the building here? Loretta, good to see your family. Hope you're doing well. Hope your sister's doing okay. And my prayers are still with you and your family for sure. Who else we got scrolling in here, coming in the back door, the front door, the side door, and coming through windows? My prepping journey. Good evening. Hello. How are you? And welcome. Hope you had a great day. Hope everything is well in your neck of the woods. And then there is one of my moderators with an amazing YouTube name out there. Coffee first. and then speak. She's got to cut out tonight. Please smash the like button, as she says. Coffee, stay safe. Have a great evening and hope to see you soon. My brother, Devil Dog Prepper, is in the building. He says, sit back and enjoy the ride. It begins now. Good to see you, Devil Dog. Hope you had a great day today as well. Sister Marie's Kitchen is in the building. Another one of our Ohio Strong. Ms. D's Hollywood Garden, welcome in, welcome in. Charmaine Montgomery, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a great day today. Folks, we're this close to the weekend. The weekend is almost here. By the way, can I get a 5x5 by somebody, anybody, just to make sure that I am not talking to myself and that you guys can hear me? That way, we all get the information that's going to go out tonight. And welcome into everybody else that came in tonight. Hope you are doing well. Hope you are doing well. My Prepper Journey says, Trent, happy to be here. Jumping back and forth between Alaskan Prepper to you. Tell Rudy I said hello. And thank you very much. Who else we got? I saw some other folks coming in the building. Storm Weather, thank you for the 5x5. Whiteside Tactical Solutions, thank you for the 5x5. My Prepper Journey, thank you for the 5x5. Sister Marie's Kitchen says 5x5. Wolfbang says loud and clear. Joe gives us a 25, which is 5 times 5. Thank you very much. Thank you, Charmaine. Little Lone Prepper, good evening, and thank you for the 5x5. Hope you're doing well. Crystal R is in the building. Hello, Crystal. Hope you had a great day. Hope the family's doing well. Hope everything is great in your neck of the woods. Folks, we got a packed series tonight. As you can tell from the thumbnail, I'm going to be doing a series, and tonight is part one because I have about 4 hours of information to share with you guys. And what a better day to start it off than Mayhemic Thursday, because mayhem is in the world and mayhemicness is abound. Preparing your family and your home for a power outage. Now, this is something I've been saying for at least a year. I think that, unfortunately, I pray it doesn't happen, but I have a feeling that these great states in this great country, we're going to experience power outages. To what degree, I don't know, but I hope it is nothing major that will cause mayhemicness across the country. Regenerative Wayne, good to see you, my brother. Good evening. Welcome in. I hope you are doing well this evening. Now, this is actually, folks, I've broken this up, and tonight we're going to talk about part one. And I'm not going to be too involved in the chat because I want to get through this information. I got some great slides for you guys and information that we're going to share. If I can do this, and I'm going to do this, and I will be right back. Okay, there we go. Okay. All those that came in, welcome in. Ghetto, good to see you, my brother. I hope you and the family, everybody's doing well. Who are KP, welcome in, welcome in. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Can you guys still hear me? I hope you can. I see my mic volume bouncing up and down. So, preparing your house and your family for a power outage. Now, this is going to be a series, and we're going to be talking about this And you know what, Crystal? That's a great idea. Crystal says, I think we might do a 2-day mock grid down just to see how it goes. And Crystal, you hit the nail on the head, because I was going to say, folks, you need to practice this. You need to try this. Thank you very much, everybody, for the 5x5s. The Scoop 82, thank you. Ghetto, thank you. Ghost, thank you. Modi Soldier, welcome in, welcome in. Good to see you, my brother. But Crystal, you're absolutely right, folks. Practice a mock grid down in your house. Go down in the basement, turn off the electrical panel for a day, for a night, whatever time frame you find necessary, and see how you fare. So with that, folks, we all know that when disaster strikes, the time to prepare is past. When a disaster strikes, now you can't prepare now. So put a plan in place, have a plan, go over it with your family and practice it. And if you have kids, give some responsibility to the kids, no matter how old they are or how young they may be. Give them some type of job that they have to do. Rip Curl, welcome in, my brother. Good to see you. Good to see you. I hope you had a amazing day today, and it gets better as the weekend fast approaches. So, in this series, we'll talk about the cause and effect of both short-term and long-term grid down power outages. And things to consider, and what to do to prepare your family and your house. And for those that are new, you can come back and watch the replay and take notes. And those that aren't new, if you find ideas and things, talk about it in the chat as we go through this. Okay. We all know there have been power outages across the country over the past few years. Also, and we don't hear this very often, there's been power outages in Asia and Europe and across there, and it's not getting any better, folks. Not getting any better. We know that our power grid here in the States is antiquated, it's old, it hasn't been maintained like it should be, and the upkeep on it has not been up to par. I'll say that. Also, we see increasing severe weather and more strain on our electrical grid. The chance of the grid going down, a scenario, is becoming more and more reality. It's no longer if it's going to go down, it's more of when it's going to go down. The grid is definitely vulnerable. And when disaster strikes, the time to prepare has passed. And we know that. That was said by Stephen Cyrus. Okay. When the grid goes down, how will it affect you and your family? Nobody knows more about what goes on day to day in your household than you and your family. All right, Rip. Glad you're driving Safeway, then home. Good. Charmaine says frightening concept, but we need to know how to deal with it. Exactly. It's and y'all know I don't promote fear mongering, fear porn, anything like that. This is just reality that, our grid is old, it's antiquated, it needs maintenance, it needs upgraded. And look at what happened in Texas. Was that last 2 years ago? Horrific. Um, we have to be prepared. Grid down. How will you keep your family up to par in their day-to-day functions in the house, their, personal hygiene, medical needs, cooking, and communicating with family and the outside world in a grid down situation. So, these are the things we're going to talk about tonight. Causes of the grid to go down. Of course, natural disasters, tornadoes, floods, hurricane, fire, any type of natural disaster. Then we have monumental events, sabotage, an EMP, a CME, even possibly, I pray not, but a terrorist attack. These are some of the things that could cause the grid to go down. Now, we all know that preparedness is a journey, okay? Enjoy the journey. My prepping my prepping journey said I'm worried about the Texas grid. They're in Houston. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So those are the things, folks, we need to get ahead of the curve and be ready for it if it happens. I hope it doesn't happen. I pray it does. I pray it doesn't happen, but I hope everybody's prepared for it if it does. FSP, my brother, welcome in. Good to see you and thank you for stopping in. By the way, for all the content creators in the chat, you know how to do it. If you type in the word vision, it will drop a link to your channel, and check them out, folks. Go watch a video. Leave a like. Leave a comment. Let them know, hey, good job. Good information. Thank you. And if you like what they're doing, subscribe to their channel. You guys know best. So these are some of the causes of the grid to go down. There's plenty more. We could sit here all night long and name different reasons and different things that could cause the grid to go down. Now, effects of the grid going down, regional events, things that will happen if the grid goes down for whatever reason. We have transmission poles that are going to be affected. Distribution poles are going to be affected. Substations. All of these are vulnerable to damage and to do major damage to the grid, if not take down the grid completely. There was a report by a government agency that talked about, if 9 strategic substations were taken out in our country, the grid would go down completely. Rip Curl says the last solar storm we just got hit with actually took out internet, communications, and power in some states, cities for a few hours. Exactly. So, anything could happen, folks. And I want everybody to be prepared and be thinking about how to deal with the grid goes down. So these effects here, this is what happens when the grid goes down. Damage, the poles, transmission poles, distribution, substations. What do we have? We had in the news, was it earlier this summer, folks shooting up substations and all of that stuff. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. Now, we're going to talk about 3 things that we depend on daily for the grid to function: the food, water, and money. There's a lot of other things we depend on, but putting this together, these were the top 3 that I came up with. Food. Access to food would become difficult over a short period of time. Producers rely on automated services, delivery, and refrigeration that could and would come to a complete halt. When that happens, grocery stores could not keep up with the demand and shelves would become empty very soon. We would be seeing people fighting over toilet paper again. Exactly. My prepper journey. So the transformers, the electrical transformers, come from China, and to build one transmission transformer takes 2 years to build just one. And I forget how much they cost, but there are a shortage of those here in our country. That's a good point. My prepper journey. You're absolutely right. But food, folks, think about the food we depend on. I'm not talking about food in our house. I'm just talking about food from the store, the butcher, wherever you get your food from. Um, that's a thing to think about. Water. Now, water supplies would shut down with no power. Of course, many of the stations have backup generators, but backup generators would work for a while, but soon faucets would go dry and sewer systems would begin to back up. Um, for those of you that aren't on city water, you may have well water. How are you going to run your backup water pumps, things like that? Those are things to think about and be prepared for. Pure Blood Prepper, good evening, good evening. Good to see you, my friend. And then we also have K White Goat Man in the building. Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome in. So, water is an issue. You know, we talk about prepping water, storing water, being able to sanitize water, to purify water, to filter water. Those are all the things you should have in your emergency preparedness plan. Okay? Money. We all talk about keeping cash at home and stocking precious metals. Yes, Modi Soldier. Yes, I've read that book 1 second after. Right. They bring up so many of the things we're talking about. Yes, I've read that book. Absolutely. It would be total chaos. Crystal says in my town, they charge 5K to put a well in your yard. Well, I'll tell you this, Crystal, that's cheaper than what it is here. It's almost triple what it is here to put in a well, depending on how far they have to go down. So, money. Let's talk about money. We talk about, keeping some cash at home, precious metals. Think about this. Money. Almost our entire use of money relies on electricity. All transactions would stop. Debit cards wouldn't work, ATMs wouldn't work. Cash would probably be the only way to buy goods and services in a short term grid down situation. That is, if you can find anything to buy in the stores. But if you were ahead of the curve and you got there early and did what you needed to do, then you're going to have to pay with cash. It's the only way you're going to be able to buy anything right now until the looters and marauders take over and start doing their thing. Um, it's amazing. Now, with these three top goals, top main things that we're going to focus on: food, water, and money. Remember, at home, when you're at home, refrigeration, cooking, and preparing could not take place if you do not have an emergency plan in place. You got to figure it out. You got to have it all ready to go, not waiting for the last minute to start gathering and looking for stuff in the dark with cell phone flashlights and all of that. Um, these are probably the top three, as I said. In a long-term grid down situation, the list just keeps growing. Okay. In a long-term grid down situation, gas supply would run out if you can get it because it needs to be pumped with electricity. Cell phone service gone. How are you going to communicate with the outside world and loved ones that may not be at home? Good to see you, Joe. Welcome in. Welcome in. Joe, you're absolutely right. He said the first rule of being lost, admit you're lost. Yeah. You know, so cell phones are down. Mail service is going to stop. Well, that may be good for most of us if you get junk mail or bills or whatever. Schools would be closed. There would be no services, no EMS, no fire, no police. So now we have become our own first responder in a long-term grid down situation. Okay. Keep in mind, and I'm looking at notes. I got tons of notes, and that's why I'm going to break this series up into different parts. Remember, life is going to change dramatically in a long-term grid down situation. There could be civil unrest. There even could be martial law could be instituted. I pray and hope that that never happens. But if it does, we know what to do, and we need to go where we need to go. Modi Soldier, thank you for stopping in, my brother. That's right. Go tuck in the little ones, kiss them, read them a story, and I'll see you on the flip side as well, my brother. Have a good night. You know, folks, if martial law is instituted in a long-term grid down situation, it's bad and it's going to get worse before it gets better. Of course, there will be no emergency services or law enforcement because they're going to be home with their families. I guarantee you that. They are going to drop, stop, and roll and stay home. Now, for those of you that if you have questions, please put your questions in all caps and I will try to get to them. And if not in a decent amount of time, one of my amazing moderators will point it out to me. But let's have some. I want to have some feedback and interaction. I've been watching the chat, and you know, the one thing I can say this: I've worked for one of the major electric companies in this area of the country. And I had the pleasure to meet a gentleman that was retiring that had put in 50 years with this company. And I've told this story before. I congratulated him and we talked, and I asked him, I said, if you could tell me one good piece of advice or words of wisdom while working here, what is it? And he looked at me and he put his hand on my shoulder and looked me dead in my eyes and he said, I'll tell you this, son, if the grid goes down, it's not coming back. And I was speechless. I just stood there and was literally speechless. And CUCV Farmer says, if the grid is down for 1 year, the government expects 90% of the people to die by the end of 1 year. Correct. Yep, that's what they're reporting. 90% of the people in the country, if the grid is down for 1 year. It's insane. But you know, folks, that's why I say we got to prepare. We got to do our homework and do what we can. That's all we can do is do what we can, for sure. Now, all we have to do is in a grid down situation, whether it's short term or long term, now it's up to us to make sure our family is safe and our home is secure, period. Remember, folks, remember your preparedness priorities. Remember what our priorities are, okay? Food, water, medicine, security, energy, and hygiene. I didn't put shelter on there because I'm assuming everybody's home or wherever you may be. Food, water, medicine, security, energy, and hygiene. We have to be able to think outside of the box, but stay focused on our priorities. You know, those are the things we have to do. Pay attention to your surroundings. There he is, old Mutt. There, see, he always does it. My furnace is on a 3-way switch with an extension cord. I plug into a generator. Generator is protected by double-aught buck. There you go. That's what I'm talking about, folks. You got to make sure that your home is secure. Good to see you, old Mutt. Thank you for coming in and joining in on this, and good to see you. Old Mutt is absolutely right. This is what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to protect what we have in a grid down situation to keep those that want to take what we have from us. Yeah. But, you know, Devil Dog Prepper says my wood burner stove is going to come in real handy. Mine too. I'm with you, Devil Dog. I got a wood burning stove in the basement and a fireplace upstairs, and you know it'll come in handy. I got plenty of wood, and I'm like old Mutt. It's actually protected by green 556 and double-aught buck. Independent Mini United, good evening, good to see you, and welcome in, welcome in. And CUCV Farmer says this is why it's important to have a group of people that you trust and will help. Absolutely. That's what we talk about, folks, having your group of people and that can come together and everybody can survive and thrive in times like this. And at any time, you know, the grid could go down. Little Lone Prepper says people may not understand for a few days. They will think the power will come back. When they realize it's gone, all hell will break loose. We might have about a week to batten down the hatches. You're absolutely right, Little Lone Prepper. You're absolutely right. We would, that will buy us some time until, I'll call them the normies, realize that, you know, the grid's not coming back no time soon. And by then we can have a batten down the hatches and everything is good. Right, exactly, Ghost. Old Mutt never messes around, and he is an awesome guy, and I agree with you 1,000%. And you know, folks, that's just what we do, and that's how we do it. African Dreaming in the building. Good to see you, my brother. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. And yeah, good to see you, and thank you for stopping in. You guys are having some great conversations. KY Goatman said, I have one in the basement and one upstairs. Absolutely. Problem is, I've never even looked at the wood stove. No idea if it works. Well, KY Goatman, that may be a good idea right there to check it out, test it out, clean it out, and see if you can fire it up and get it working. KY, I mean, my prepping journey says if grid down, how are people supposed to get gasoline for the gas generators if not prepared? Right. There you go. I mean, these are questions that are going to come up. And it's things like that that we have to figure out ahead of time. Store gasoline? Maybe so. I don't store gas, but I have multiple gas cans that I keep around for different things on the property and things like that. Um, you know, that's what we do, and that's what I do. So, one second, I'm getting a text from the matriarch of the family, and she's asking about the young son in college. So, with that, yeah, gasoline. How you gonna store gasoline? How are you gonna store other fuels you may need in a time like this? Um, you know, we can fix it. My cart runneth over. Welcome in. Good to see you. And welcome in. Thank you. I'm getting texts from family members, and yeah, every time a family member texts me, I make sure it's not an emergency. Um, from there. So keep in mind, storing gasoline, kerosene, propane, whatever it is you need to do, figure it out. There's gasoline additives. Rotate out your gas. Folks, um, African Dreaming says most health bodies are capable of more than what we could imagine. Water is your pathway to everything else. Yeah, water is life, and we need to take care of that and prep water, because without water, we're not going to have life long. And with that, that's another thing. For those of you that have well water, how are you going to run your pumps? I got a plan in place to for my well pump to run, and I got backups to it. There he is, my man, my brother from another mother, Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival. Good to see you, my brother. Welcome, welcome. I hope you and the family are doing well and everything is good up in New Yorkistan. Prepper Book Club, welcome in, bruh. Good to see you as well. Now, so folks, again, in the preparedness realm or in life general, we have to sometimes think outside of the box. Think outside of the box, but stay focused on the priorities. Um, it's things like that. Now, preparedness priorities. We talked about this briefly: food, water, medicine, security, energy, and hygiene. And what time is it? It is 8:38. These are the types of things that are going to run out quickly in a long-term grid down. And we got to be ready for this. Welcome in, Frank Short. Good to see you. Good to see you. Um, it's a good thing that we practice our preps. That's why you hear people talking about practice your preps. Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival Mike is adamant about practicing your preps. That's why he has the bug out weekend. That's why he has the prepper yard sale. That's why he has all types of events going on. And when I saw that, that's what encouraged me to do the same here. Bug out weekend is going to be May 16th through the 19th, 2024. But folks, we got to make sure that these 6 preps we've got covered no matter what. My prepping journey says when the gas tank runs out, people will have to walk everywhere. Yeah, or have alternative means of transportation. 1 is none, 2 is 1. That's what we need to do. Very much so. That's what we need to do. And once the power is out, it's out. Now it is our time to kick into gear what we know, what we've planned for, what we've prepped for. And in part one tonight, I wanted to set the stage or give the scenario of what it's going to be like in a long-term grid down situation. We have nothing. We have nothing. There is no electricity. There is no cell phones. There are no lights. Depending on the reason for the grid to go down, we may not even have vehicles to drive. Those are the things we need to talk about, and we will in the next parts of the series. Now, questions. I've seen amazing comments in the chat, and you guys are coming up with some great scenarios, some great information. But the one thing, I say now, I'm going to talk briefly about this and not go too in deep because it's for the next series. For instance, food and water. The federal government is stupid. They say have a minimum of 72 hours, 3 days. That's insanity at its best. As far as I'm concerned, Hudson Valley, he said, there you go, marking my calendar. Yeah. First of all, food, water, and shelter. Food and water, I say, at a very, very bare bones minimum, 3 weeks of water for every family member in the house. And it's easy to calculate. So let's just say, and I'm talking drinking water only, I'm going to say 2 gallons a day per person in the house. They say the average is 1 gallon, but I say up it, make it 2 gallons of water per day per person. So that is 2 times 7. So that's 14 gallons per person per week. Anna, welcome in. She said rainwater for washing clothes, dishes, and mopping the floors. Yes. Now, I also prep what I call other water. This is water that I've taken 1 gallon jugs and filled up with regular tap water, and that is used for other things such as mopping, cleaning, pouring water down the toilets, and things like that. That is not cooking or drinking or hygiene as well. It's going to be very critical, folks, that you have a plan in place. Because if you don't have a plan when a disaster strikes, it's too late. Now you're scrambling and playing catch up. Exactly, Hudson Valley. Right. Horses. Saddle up, cowboys and cowgirls. Yeah. E-bikes. Yeah. Other means of transportation. Absolutely. Yes. That's how you do it. African Dreaming says if most people could live in what is deemed a third world country, it would be eye-opening. Grid down is daily life for some. Learn how they live. Now, folks, I'm going to leave this comment right here because African Dreaming is from East Texas, allegedly. I haven't seen his driver's license yet, so I don't know. But him and his amazing wife, April, live in Africa. So, he knows. And if you've not gone over to his channel and seen some of his topics, go check him out. Again, all the content creators in the chat, type the word vision. It'll drop a link to your channel. If you haven't seen these people, check them out. Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival. Mike is another one. Mike is huge on practicing your preps, folks, because today's Thursday. If we were going to die, it would have been yesterday on We All Gonna Die Wednesday. You got to go check him out. Mike gives amazing content, as well as some of the other content creators in the chat. You know, think of other ways of means of transportation, but just little things like water. You know, how are you going to cook indoors or outdoors? And you have to deal with what comes with that in a grid down situation. Mike says, if horses are your plan and you don't know how to saddle and ride, go take a lesson. Absolutely. If that's your plan, figure it out, folks. Practice, practice, practice. We can't preach enough about practice your preps. It is crucial to survival. It could cost you your life or your family's lives. CUCV Farmer says, got to go to bed. Going to the replay in the morning. Everyone share this out. This info could be the difference between living and dying. Thank you so much, CUCV Farmer. Have a good evening, my brother, and have an amazing Friday. Mad Shad said, late, but I'm here. What's up, everybody? Welcome in, Mad Shad. Greetings from the Erie Coast. Little Lone Prepper says, I try to have enough food to get through 2 winters. Hopefully a garden will supply food for winter, but if it fails, then I have a buffer until next growing season. Exactly. Those are the plans I'm talking about we have to have in place, folks. And in part 2 of this series, we're going to get into each one of these and dig deep to help those that may not have a plan, or that people that have gaps in their plans or preps get some ideas that will help them shore up their preps and practices and plans and everything. Yeah, KY Goatman says, I know how to ride some, but I need practice. Yeah. I've ridden a horse, and it was 25 years ago. And yeah, I'm going to walk, put it that way. Yeah. Yes, indeed. I haven't ridden a horse in long. It's not in my plan. But hey, if it works for you, use it, do it, practice it. Ms. Jones Truth, welcome in, welcome in. And she says, by the end of 72 hours, the worst of the worst will happen. Those that don't will come after those that do. 82 hours is a joke. Yeah. Yeah. 72 hours. I know what you meant, Miss Jones Truth. Yeah, the government says have 72 hours worth of food and water. 3 days, that's nothing. My children alone can eat 3 days worth of food in a day and a half. You know, Ghost Lincoln says, easiest way to protect a vehicle from EMP, I put it inside a properly customized shipping container. There you go. If you got one laying around, get it and go. Hudson Valley said, me too, KY. Haven't ridden in a while and definitely need a refresher on saddling and loading. I'm with you on that. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I know, Miss Jones Truth, got you. Exactly. My prepping journey says buy extra buy extra filters for the water purifier. I have a closet full of them, both for my filter and my reverse osmosis system in the kitchen. And you know, we just have to go down this road. Devil Dog said, dinner bell just rang, so I must leave you all fine people. Stay safe, stay vigilant, and stay prepped. Oh, and smash the thumbs up button. Appreciate it, Devil Dog. Have a great evening, my brother. I'll be talking to you soon. Crystal says, I bought one of those Bob things in some cube water storage. When power goes out, I'm filling up everything. Right. You can also fill up your bathtub as well. Very much so. And we're going to get into a lot of this in the next few parts of the series of preparing your family and your home for a power outage. Because I'm going to be honest with y'all, and I've been saying this for about a year. I believe that we're going to have a grid down situation. Don't know how massive it's going to be, but I think it's going to happen. And if I'm not mistaken, and those of you that follow, who is it, Sean Ryan and all the weather guys, I think we're supposed to have a cold winter this year. But you know how that goes. And I am so far behind in the chat, but I wanted to start this series because after I've been thinking about this, and I'm literally, I can't say too much about it, but I'm literally working on an alternative power source. I'll say that. That is my third in line backup. It is the backup to the backup. Of course, the main source is the electrical grid, but I have a backup to that, and now I'm putting in place a backup to the backup. And it just makes sense, folks. Hudson Valley said, or New Yorkistan, horses have a gangster lean. So y'all ride like this in New Yorkistan, Hudson, or is it like this? Two hands or one on the reins? Yeah. But you guys, it's interesting, you know. Canajalon said, remember the 3 to 5 days, folks, gonna want your stuff. That's right. In 3 to 5 days, they're coming looking. So that's when you have to circle the wagons and be prepared for what's coming down the pike and be able to protect yours and your stuff, your family, everything you have against those that are coming to take it, because it will happen. And I pray it doesn't. But if it does, we will be ready, and we will unleash the Kraken on them and go from there. It just makes sense, folks. But I want you guys to start thinking about this, because I actually think this is going to be 4 parts. I've got about 4 to 5 hours worth of information, but I don't want to sit here and give a lecture. I want to have interaction with you guys and get feedback from you guys, because you guys are the ones that encourage me and inspire me to do stuff like this and talk about topics like this. Regenerative Wayne said, I purchased a Nature Head composting toilet after the great Arctic grid down in Texas. He said, I used it. It works great. No water needed, no smell at all. See, there you go. Folks, this is what I'm talking about. This is how we all learn from other people's experiences and the stuff they have. That's why I love sitting down and talking with people like Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival, Old Mutt, Mad Shad, Devil Dog Prepper, African Dreaming, all of you folks, because this is how we get the word out and we share the information and knowledge amongst everybody. Jones Truth, solar panels should be in your plans too. Absolutely. If you got solar generators, you better have solar panels. And I'm not going to talk too much about that. We'll get into that. I think that's coming up in part 2. Yes, that is coming up in part 2. We will be talking about energy and solar generators and solar panels and things like that. Old Mutt said 2 years in Korea in the 70s was like stepping back in time 100 years. You hear that, folks? He said 2 years in Korea. Can you imagine? Can you imagine 6 months in the United States, no electricity? Can you imagine that? In the chaos, in the mayhem, in the mayhemicness that would be going on across our country. And as I think it was CUCV Farmer pointed out, that the government said in a nationwide grid down after 1 year, 90% of the population will perish. I'm not going to be one of the 90%. And it's just not going to happen. Mike said absolutely yes. And why do you think you have people like Hudson Valley and all these other great content creators that does reviews on gear? It's not because it's cool. It's because they're testing this stuff out to say, hey, if you're thinking about getting something like this, either get it. It worked for me. If this is something you need, get it. That's how I ended up with a Grail. I watched Mike with his Grail, and I wanted a Grail, so I went and got one, and it's on my bag, on one of my bags. So, folks, test your preps, fill your gaps, look at what you're lacking and what you can get. Stay within your budget, as we always talk. We got 4 minutes left. Like we always say, stay within your budget. Get what's in your means. Okay. A resilient dad, good evening. Good to see you, my brother. Hope you and everybody's doing well. He said, tapping in from the Bay with respect. Part 1 is fire. Keep sharing and provoking thought and action. Thank you very much, resilient dad. I appreciate it. I got much more to come. This may end up being a 6-part series because I want us to get down into the weeds and really understand the concept of grid down, not just short term. I'm not talking 3 hours, 6 hours. I'm not even talking a day. I'm talking what happens long term. And when I say long term, to me, long term is a week or more. Could be 10 days, week or more. What do we do? How are we going to respond? How are we going to put our plans into action and make sure our family is safe and provided for and that we're thriving without electricity? It's a luxury, folks. It's a total luxury. Mike said, Hudson Valley said, anyone going on vacation and want to take me with them? Well, that depends. I may do a staycation. You're more than welcome to go on a staycation with me, Hudson Valley. You're more than welcome. I'm doing a staycation because I got to burn some time before the end of the year from work. Hudson Valley said, Johnny Preps offered me a rowboat ride so far. There you go. Yeah. African Dreaming said, if I may say, I think near the end of next year, EGG prices will exceed the last egg crisis. Yeah. Egg prices will exceed the last egg crisis. So, folks, if you can, get your chickens, get your own eggs, be able to become somewhat self-sufficient. Yeah, Hudson Valley said sun's been acting up, checking the auroras. Absolutely, absolutely. Resilient Wayne, and I knew this, Resilient Wayne said, I'm building my own mini solar power plant in a part of my yard as we speak with used certified warranty parts from Santan Solar. Right. As we speak, the project is in play, 2,000 watts of panels. There you go, Wayne. Exactly. See, folks, those are the things we have to think outside of the box And if it's in our means to do so. Karen, welcome in. Good to see you. She said horses can pull a cart or plow. Also, get some cast iron and practice cooking on open flame. I love cooking on open flame, and I do it regularly. Um, Cast iron, I cook on cast iron all the time. The COO will tell you. She said, "Oh yeah, when he cooks, he uses cast iron." She said, "If I use cast iron, it's going up in flames and in the trash." So I love cooking on cast iron. I love it without a doubt. And I am way behind in the chat. Rip says, Rip Curl Readiness said, I did a video on what people need to know and do if power utilities go out in cold weather to avoid what happened to the people in Texas a couple years ago. It has a lot of good information in it. There you go, folks. Rip, type vision so it drops a link. Folks, go check it out. Go check out Rip's video. You got to see it and share the information. I ain't mad at you. Thank you for that. Yes. And as Hudson said, caches will definitely make your load lighter. They don't always have to be buried. Sometimes you can just stash stuff in a friend's garage. Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially if you have to bug out. Yeah. There you go. There's the link to his video right there, folks. Right there. You can copy and paste it and go check it out. Exactly, Hudson Valley. Old Mutt is solar powered. Yes, he is. And guess what, folks? Anybody who meets him or encounters Old Mutt automatically gets the hashtag Old Mutt's kids. I am one of Old Mutt's kids, and a whole bunch of other folks in the chat are, because we met him in person and he is powered by solar. Absolutely, without a doubt. And the things he has and carries and pulls and gets in and fires up, it's amazing what old Mutt does. Yes. Thank you, African Dreaming. Part 2, we're going to deep dive in it. I know it's 9:02 right now, folks. Any questions for me? Adriana, good evening. Hello, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Thank you for stopping in. Mad Shad says the Congo, Sierra Leone was no power. Right. Exactly. It is amazing. Hudson Valley said I would spiral out of control quickly. Yeah. It's something to think about. And I'm not trying to instill fear. I'm trying to share knowledge and wisdom to get people thinking about what happens if the grid goes down. What do you do? How are you going to cook? How are you going to feed your family? How are you going to take care of personal hygiene? If it's cold weather and you're in a cold weather state, how are you going to warm your house and yourself and your family and keep the kiddos safe and warm? It's going to be everything. Yes, Prepared Irishman, I can repeat it. It's called Please Watch the Replay, Sir. I would appreciate it. Good to see you, my brother. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, folks, I wanted to start this series, and I hope this made sense tonight and is going to get better as we dive through this experience of grid down in preparing not only our families, but our houses for grid down, no power. F. Pierce says, the longest I've been down is 3 days, summer. I can only imagine winter. Yeah, exactly. Yes, indeed. Wayne, I've got one. Yep. He purchased a second Gen Max generator, highly rated, but not expensive. Posted a video on my channel, used them with a new Charvenger I just purchased from Signature Solar. More great off-grid equipment. There you go, folks. Go over there and check out Regenerative Wayne. He's got a lot of great content. There's tons of information from the people in the chat as well. Right. Yes, it is, Hudson Valley. The financial crunch is hitting people hard. And, you know, folks, that's another thing. And I don't even want to jump down that rabbit hole. But with that, I'm not going to keep everybody. I wanted to start this series and keep it to an hour. And we are going to continue this journey together. And I will say this to everybody. Thank you for coming over, spending an hour talking about preparing your family and home for a power outage, part 1, on this Mayhemic Thursday. And I appreciate each and every one of y'all. I will say this to everybody in the chat. Thank you for your support. Much appreciated. And remember this, keep prepping, because your family depends on you and it depends on your life. God bless everybody. Have an amazing evening. Have an amazing weekend. Do something fun. Be nice to somebody. Be kind. Do something for somebody that you don't know. And keep prepping. Vision Preparedness. God bless everybody. And we will see you in the next video. Take care and good night. The time is now.